I've never been one to be into that type of shit. I'm always trying to make it as comfortable and make it as casual as possible, just because like it doesn't, for me, it doesn't make sense to try to portray an image that I'm not, trying to come off like super professional or super fucking, this is who I am, this is what you need to know, da 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 da, like fuck all that. I'm gonna treat this just like I treated my fucking social media content all the time. Find a place where it's good and chop it in and just start right there. You know what I mean? That might be the spot where we just did it. I don't know. But either way, man, welcome back to the fucking Badgers Den. It's kind of been a while, no? I wanted to revamp everything, obviously, and reintroduce myself, not be a stranger and not be a douchebag either. I don't know how else to explain it. Not be one of those people that is just out there talking like, oh, you need to know who I am. Like, it's not even like that. I like what I do, you know what I mean? I like giving back to the people that actually give a fuck to hear what I have to say, because I mean, where you live in a big ass fucking world, it's not like everybody has a right to hear what I have to say. You know what I mean? Or I shouldn't say it right. It's like I shouldn't have to feel like they have a right. I have a right for them to hear what I have to say. Yeah, there you go. It's like we're in a world of billions of fucking people. You know what I mean? What I have to say is not that important. So I appreciate the ones that do. You know what I mean? So I try to give back as much as I can, and even when I make myself look like an ass on camera, it is what it is, you know. I see people that still fucking support me and still show me love and don't really see it like that, so I guess it's my own like trip, you know what I mean? It's my own bullshit. Anyway, going back, intro wise, we're chopping it in. I'm just bringing it in right into this. I don't know how else to do an intro. I don't want to come across like some professional like fucking podcaster or some weird shit like that, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm gonna slowly, obviously I'm gonna bring people on as guests. This first episode I'm gonna break down my album, and we're gonna go into detail about like, you know, certain songs and just kind of how it all pieces together and shit like that, just to get those, I don't know, get new listeners, if they're interested, to check out it like a further in-depth, you know, not behind the scenes, but further behind the context, if you will, behind the words and all that stuff, behind behind what I'm rapping. Because I mean, I'll be real with you, and I'm sure a lot of people can obviously tell, the ones that have heard, I rap a lot different than people do nowadays. A lot of people just, you know, vibe and do the same shit, do like the radio shit and all that, and I like MCing, I like fucking with wordplay, I like being technical, I like actually rapping and performing, you know what I mean? So it's hard to break down a lot of the shit. So you kind of have to either have somebody break it down for you, or you have to have the artists themselves break it down. So I figured, you know, I mean, I'm not no celebrity or nothing like that, so to put out an album is kind of ballsy in this day and age, and to see people actually listening to it is fucking sick. And to see people listening to it gives me more motive to kind of be like, well, if people are liking it, I might as well go in depth about what I can, you know, not what I can, about everything, about how it fucking is just all correlated together. Everything's just a piece by piece little journey with waves of like different vibes of emotions and music and all that good stuff. Sorry if I keep clearing my throat. This fucking pollen in the air, bro. I've been fucked up recently. It's been crazy. It's been fucking up my... I shouldn't say crazy. It's not like it's not like you can see the stuff in the air and you're like, oh my god. Like, no, it's just fucking me up. It's fucking up a few of my friends too, and I'm sure you could hear it in my voice. I'm kind of sound fucked up, but I can get through it. It's not a big deal, you know what I mean? Smoked a little weed too, so I'm a little cottonmouth at the same time. But anyway, back to the subject. Breaking down dead ends, new beginnings. That's what we're going to be doing on this episode. And then further down the line, I want to bring in guests. Obviously, I want to bring in just people I'm interested in. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be like copying like a Joe Rogan like depiction or anything like that. We're just gonna, well, I guess in a sense we are, because it's gonna be just conversation shit. You know what I mean? But we'll still, ask questions and be interested in that guest and just break down stuff that they want to, if they're into that, or see where a conversation leads. You know what I mean? But anyway, we'll try to make it as casual as possible while still being entertaining and to the points of whatever we're talking about. Because like, for me personally, when I see podcasts and I see them being like overly professional, it just, like, I don't know, it strikes a nerve. Maybe it's my own little bias, but I don't fucking see the need for that. Like, the best one obviously is the fucking Rogan one, but they fucking, I shouldn't say the best as in like that's the one you should watch, but I mean like numbers wise, that's the best one. And the reason is because it's casual, it's laid back, they just talk, you know what I mean? They just fucking, there's no guidelines to it, there's no like paper here and, oh well, next question this, next question that, because that's one thing I fucking see a lot of. And it just, I don't know, for me, like I said, it strikes a nerve. Other people don't really give a fuck, you know what I mean? It's just, it is what it is. People make what they make of it. But I don't feel the need to follow a script or do some weird shit like that. Like, it should be laid back, you know what I mean? It should be just talk about what you're talking about, just chill, be yourself, be a person, show the people that fuck with you the person that you are. That's all it should really be. You shouldn't have to put on some like sick old facade or something, or like, I shouldn't say facade, but some sick old like movie style script and stick to every TV show style script and stick to everything and make it like awkward in a sense, you know what I mean? Because it feels weird when you do it like that. Sorry, drinking my coffee. Spilled some on me a second ago, but it is what it is. Anyway, hope y'all have been good. I've been on and off social media a lot. A lot of times people see me on there, they see the online shit, or they see me comment something real quick, but 9 times out of 10 it's literally me just looking at it, and my feed feeds me something, I see it and I'm like, oh, comment, go through it, and then after that I'm back on my day. I rarely ever actually sit there and look through like old friends and stuff like that. So if there's anyone out there that comes across this, that we're old homies and shit, hope you're doing good and shit, you know what I mean? Ain't no bad vibes sent your way, nothing like that. Just trying to live life like we all are. The world's kind of crazy right now, so I'm sure everybody's going through their own cycle of shit. That's kind of why I wanted to put out the music I did too as well, because I know that people still support me from afar. I know there's a few heads that I used to fuck with that still support me from afar, and we're all going through, life. Some of us are doing really well, others are on the way to really well, others are like in the middle, some are at the bottom still, some are rising. It don't matter wherever you are, as long as you're trying to get better, you know what I mean? Getting better day by day, that's the important part. But hope y'all are doing good, hope everyone's living well. Those who aren't, hope you're fucking at least vibes and you're positive. I hope you have some positive vibes sent your way. I hope, you got good prayers coming your way. I hope good things happen for you in the future either way. You know what I mean? This life ain't never over. You always got another day. It's just what it is. I'm going to be a little bit all over the place with this as I kind of get the ball rolling again. You know what I mean? So if you see me like, not veer off, but just kind of like pause for a second, just to collect my thoughts. It takes a lot to kind of just talk. And at some point I'm gonna have to get up and I'm gonna have to check that camera, because I don't know how much storage it's gonna take. Should be at least 45 minutes or so for sure. But I've been seeing good shit out there. I've been hearing pretty good music, but for the most part there's still a lot of like just like wave riding. It's wild. Wave riding is like a plague out nowadays, bro, and it's kind of weird. Like, I don't want to sound like a hater, because I don't hate on anyone necessarily. It's just I don't see individuality anymore, and I know a lot of people that say that too, but I'm not being a dick by saying it. They don't do nothing about it in a sense, you know what I mean? And it's not like I'm taking a huge stand. Like I said, I'm not some type of fucking big ass person. I'm not some type of known celebrity like that. It's nothing like that. But I do my part in what I can for our little subculture. Hip hop's a wild subculture when you think about it. Just kind of wild too. It's wild because like it's wild as this fucking coffee. I get sidetracked. I got my ADD makes me go kind of crazy sometimes. But anyway, I got sidetracked because like I have coffee up here, right? But I have water down there, and my thought is keep the water away because we don't need a tragedy happening. You know what I mean? Keep the water away from the electronics. We don't need a tragedy happening. But there's coffee right here, and I already spilled some on myself, so it's like, you burnt motherfucker. Anyway, hip hop is wild. It's a wild subculture because you have people in our part of hip hop that just do our thing and don't really care about, you know, numbers necessarily and all this like popularity contest shit that people be doing, and it doesn't really matter to us, you know, that don't matter to the people in this little part of hip hop. And we're so much more peaceful in a sense, you know what I mean? The other people are always, I don't always want to just judge and point fingers and just say like negative shit, but there's a lot of like drama involved on the other side, you know what I mean? And if you've seen both sides, it's like, wouldn't you rather be peaceful doing you and like embracing your own art and doing what you feel like doing, you know what I mean? Not having to stick to this weird like plot or stick to this weird agenda of, this is what I have to sound like. This is what the kids like. This is what I need to replicate. Like that shit's weird, dude. I don't know. Even when I was younger, I never fucked with that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And as I get older, it stays that way, and I find myself drifting further and further from it because I see more people drifting into it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. It's fucking weird, and it happens most in hip-hop, at least in my opinion. That's where I see it most. I had to make sure everything was still recording, but yeah, that's not what I was trying to do. So I veered as far left as I could with this fucking album, and it was pretty cool. Like, I don't know, this past year and a half has been pretty fucked up for me. Hasn't been the greatest, you know. I'm not going to go crazy into detail about things, but like most people that follow me on social media seen, like, you know, I split up with an ex of mine that I was with for a long time. It was like we pretty much built a life, you know, but that was a year and a half ago, but that fucked me up for a while, you know. It fucked me up for a while, picking things back up and trying to get things going to where I was. And even then, I'm still not necessarily to where I was or where I want to be, but every day we're pushing for that again, you know what I mean? And working with what we got and making the most of what we got, because that's what you have to do. And we've been doing it ever since. And over that year and a half, I thought to myself, like, I have two options in a sense. I can just fucking release my music still and work on myself the way I had already been. Or just fucking say fuck it, like fuck it all right now, and just literally ghost everything and not really worry about hip hop or anything like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know, dude. I was on the line of doing that. I was completely on the line of just saying fuck all this shit, and I really completely was in that mind frame even before me and my ex split. And like, it's wild to think about right now, but I was fucking ready to do that and put all this shit aside and just say fuck all this, because I mean, let's be real, like every artist knows that you don't get paid fat from all this. You don't get like stacks and stacks of money, like especially when you're still just coming up. Like as dope as I know that I am, and as dope as the fucking supporters that I have know that I am, and the people that have come across me and have always complimented me, like I rarely get bad I rarely get bad feedback on anything, and when I do, it's from ignorant people. But I let it get a bit. As artists, we let it get the better of us sometimes. You know what I mean? That one negative comment fucks with our head forever. But anyway, like getting over all that and trying to just work through it all and just I was trying to find a balance. Sorry, that's what I was getting. It's hard to think about all this right now and get like stay on the point and stay focused through it. So much going on, you know what I mean? But it was a wild trip. I went through a lot financially, still trying to pick myself back up, because this shit, like I said, it's not cheap. None of this shit's cheap. Everything in entertainment or hip hop, no matter what art you're doing, whenever you invest into it and you start investing into yourself, it becomes pricey, and it becomes hard to juggle with life. It is what it is. And it gets the better of us sometimes, even the best of us. And working back from that over that year and a half gave me those options. And when I finally was like, all right, I'm not gonna fucking put everything away. I'm not gonna say fuck it. I'm gonna experiment and fuck around with music. I'm not gonna focus on hip hop. I'm gonna fuck around with music. And the reason I did that was because prior to that, the releases I had, Time Is Now, Curtain Call, damn it, All I Know, that one, All I Know. There was a couple other ones that I did on YouTube that I took off, but anyway, all those releases, like, they were dope, you know what I mean? But they followed this weird pattern that I noticed that I used to do, where I just kind of ramble on without finishing what I'm saying. And so it just becomes this like long run on rap. And it was kind of bugging the fuck out of me because I didn't know how to break that cycle. So I had to basically not only just reinvent myself as an artist, but straight up just figure out who I am as a musician. Because going back when I was a kid, I learned to play guitar. I fucking was always into different genres of music, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I just jumped into hip hop and became a rapper and was just like rap. Nah, like I've always been into so many different genres of music. I said that right. And I had to find my balance again of just figuring out where I wanted to land on beats, how I wanted to sound with my actual voice, where I wanted to take things with like singles or demos or EPs, whatever the fuck you want to call them. Like in this day and age, it's so like repetitive, in my opinion, to just drop singles, even though I'm not going to argue the fact that it works, because dropping single after single after single, it does work for a lot of artists, and it's a fucking good way to do it. But it becomes repetitive after a while, and like for me personally, you lose your like, what's the word I'm looking for? You lose your I guess you lose your comprehension on how to actually put together, like how to compose a real project, if that makes sense. Because then, unless you're thinking further ahead into maybe your actual platforms where your music is on, of how that's going to sound, if you're thinking ahead like that, it would make sense. But if you're not thinking like that, anything you put together at random and just drop at singles isn't going to sound cohesive, you know what I mean? And it kind of like, it made me think about my actual playlist and categories on my Spotify, on YouTube, and it made me think like, how can I make something that fits into everything I have? Because if I can make something that fits into everything I have, and literally have somebody just come across my music and just hit fucking shuffle, everything will flow together perfectly and intertwine to where you wouldn't even, like, you would think it's all part of one fucking project, you know what I mean? I tried to find a way to do that with this, because I just wanted to find a fucking good way to balance, not only a way of bringing myself back into the circle of of music basically, but also a way to just catch a lot more new listeners by being like, oh damn, like I can literally skip through any of this. Everything sounds different, but everything sounds cohesive. And so to do that, I was like, fuck, dude, am I gonna do an EP? Like, I can't do that in 6 songs or 4 songs or 5. Like, I can't do that from 4 to 6. I could maybe do that from 4 to 7, but even then, it's like pushing it for me personally. Like, I like music, you know what I mean? I'm a fucking musician. I'm a music fan. I like music. So why would I try to make something short and jam packed after being gone for almost like fucking 3 years, you know what I mean? Because prior to me and my ex splitting up as well, I was actually like pulling away from music and pulling away from hip hop shows and pulling away from a lot of stuff like that. So it just made me really think, like, why the fuck am I gonna come back with fucking like 4 songs and be hype about it? You know what I mean? Like, that just sounds fucking stupid to me. And it made me feel cheap in a way too, you know what I mean? I've been sitting on beats that I had in storage for a long time where I was just like, man, you wrote dope shit to this, but it's like it's unfinished. Even as finished projects, they're unfinished. They don't sound finished. They sound like I'm just coming from me. They sound like shit. You know what I mean? I didn't like them. They sounded whack. I fucking hated them. That's why I never put them out. And I just had to redo everything, and I just sat there for that whole year and a half from just grinding day in and day out, in between grinding, working, living life and getting by, hitting the gym, doing all that stuff. Like, I just had to find a way to fucking work all those beats that I had and just find a way to actually make them work. And then the few beats I found along the way that I trickled into the fucking album, it just made it like the fucking, you know what I mean? It was a trip. But I made that decision simply because, as I said, I felt cheap coming back with like a fucking 4-song EP or a 6-song EP. That just sounds cheap to me after being gone for that long. So I said, fuck it, dude. Let's make a fucking album. You know, I don't have a giant fan base, but the fan base I do have fucks with my music enough to where my fucking Spotify, my YouTube, everything stayed active with numbers going up and down for the past 3 years, even without me promoting. So it's just like, there's fucking love out there, and I see that love and I appreciate it and I'm grateful for it. So that's why it's like, why am I gonna cheat y'all on that too? Like, that don't make sense to me as a person and as an artist. So I wasn't gonna do that, and that's why I put together the project. And the project is actually 19 tracks. If you go on YouTube or SoundCloud, you'll hear the extra 2 tracks. But I'm kind of happy that Spotify didn't let me put the other 2 tracks on. And it just, I don't know, like, I like the other 2 tracks. They're called Drifting and Excel. I kicked the mic on accident. You're going to hear that later. But anyway, they're called Drifting and Excel. And they're dope, dude. They're so different. They're different. But anyway, they have samples on them that didn't clear. Oh, I don't want to sneeze. They have samples that didn't clear. And at first I was gonna fucking, I was gonna dispute it and just be like, no, fuck that, I want him on there. But I was like, you know what, it sounds fucking dope without him. I took it back and I listened on my phone that I have the track list on. I listened to it without Drifting in Excel. And then I just fucking realized, like, hey, this is the fucking world telling you that you don't need those 2 tracks on there. This sounds fucking good without it. And rolled with it. Fucking stoked with how it came out. I noticed that people are bumping it. Seems like people are digging it. I fucking have heard nothing but good feedback on it. Seen people sharing certain songs, you know what I mean? Going crazy has been going crazy, as I kind of expected it to. My brother Blessed fucking killed that verse. We released that actually like a year ago as a little teaser. But watch, before I get into what I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get up. I'm not gonna cut this, but I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna fucking check the mic. The mic is going. Everything's good there. Check the camera. I'm gonna make sure we're still good on time, because if I need to, I'm gonna chop it and I'll cut it and then we'll fucking continue this on like a part 2 after I transfer that file over, because I need space, and taking these high quality ass videos like this takes up a lot of freaking memory. So let me check this real quick. If we're good to go, then we don't have to worry about it. Looks like we're still good to go. I'm not gonna worry about it. We'll check again in about probably 40-ish minutes. That's when we'll check. But so far so good. My sinuses are killing me, but it's okay. Anyway, my brother Blessed killed that fucking verse. Going back to the album itself, as I said, we dropped Going Crazy a year ago. We actually, after we recorded it, I mixed and mastered it and we put it out, and people loved it when we dropped it. But the album itself, I've actually been dropping little crumbs. You know what I mean? Breadcrumbs. On My Mind was the first breadcrumb. And On My Mind, I don't know if you're going to hear that. There's a big ass plane flying over. We're at war. Get ready. Just kidding. No, On My Mind was a single that I dropped, I want to say 2 years ago. And that was the first one. That was the first one that I wrote that I realized that you could play at any time, any place, any year, and the words are gonna fit and make sense to somebody going through that situation. And I was like, bro, that is the first piece of the little puzzle. You know what I mean? Going back to what I was saying about somebody hitting shuffle and just hearing everything and it's cohesive. That was the first fucking sign. That was the first song. That's where I was like, all right, this is it. That's the first piece to the puzzle was On My Mind. So we dropped that. And yeah, Going Crazy was the next one after that time frame in between. I feel like there was another one, but I fucking can't remember the actual verse right now, or the breadcrumb. I just like calling them that. Oh yeah, I'm stupid. That's the obvious one. Fucking Curtain Call. Curtain Call was the one that was supposed to fucking, I don't know, bro. I don't know if I wanted to put that as the start or the ending track to the fucking project when I first thought of it, but that was supposed to be on this album. And when I dropped it as a single, I was just like, I like it as a single. And that was the reason it just stayed as a single. But that became, it sounds stupid, but that became my reason to basically be like, well, fuck, I wanted Curtain Call on the album, but I'm not going to put it on there. It's me battling with my own fucking stubbornness. I'll be real with you. I'm just fucking dumb like that sometimes. So I'm literally battling with my stubbornness of being like, why the fuck don't you put Curtain Call on the album too? Because it fucking literally flows perfect with it. It makes perfect sense to. No, I don't want to put it on the album, but I want to put it on the album. so I fucking found a in between, and Chip on My Shoulder, if you fucking pay attention and you listen to the fucking cadences of it, Chip on My Shoulder is technically Curtain Call too, and that's why it's at the very beginning of this one. I found the perfect placement for it, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else doesn't like the placement, but I think the placement is fucking perfect for that. And so Chip on My Shoulder actually became fucking Curtain Call 2. And ironically, Chip on My Shoulder was supposed to be the name of the album. So I just kind of fucked around with the names and just kind of got mad at my own stubbornness for being like, well, what the fuck are you? Why don't you just fucking put it on the album? And it goes back to me being stingy again, or feeling cheap with myself, you know what I mean? And being like, well, just give them more. What the fuck? You have more beats, like, just give them more. Fucking A. One second. I'm always feeling like I'm in a rush because I'm used to shooting content right away, you know what I mean? I'll tell you what, Tylenol, y'all gotta step your game up, because this shit ain't working right now, but we'll get through this. Alright. Let me get into, I want to get into the intro, because we covered, I mean, we didn't really cover Going Crazy or fucking Chip on My Shoulder too much, but They're further down the line. We'll get into it. The intro, the intro is meant to just kind of be like, it's kind of meant to be like, not necessarily my last shot at things, but my last shot at just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like narcissistic, but I guess that's the point, because the first half is the first, okay, so through Monster to Gunsmoke, that first half is supposed to be almost my like childish side, if you will, because for years the music that people like, as much as I like performing it, as much as I like hearing that people like it, that comes from a real like it comes from a real egotistic place. Like honestly, it comes from a real egotistic place where I'm just kind of like, fuck everybody, I'm the shit. Like if you don't fuck with me, you're a dick. Like that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like it sounds stupid. It sounds stupid when you say it out loud, but it's like almost Slim Shady shit. You know what I mean? That's what it reminds me of, and maybe that's why I get the fucking comments I do sometimes, because I've been compared to that from a few people that have listened to my music. They've said that that's what it reminds them of, and it makes sense to me now that it makes sense to me now that I said it. But it makes sense to me also now that this album's put together and I've heard it over and over, like how I have it. That first half is supposed to be that egotistic, narcissistic kind of like, not putting myself on a pedestal, but kind of like arrogant trip. You know what I mean? It's meant to be in your face. It's meant to be a little more abrasive. It's meant to be a little more like, somebody putting up their own like defense. You know what I mean? And I don't know how people are gonna perceive them. I don't know how people are gonna perceive the songs themselves. But this is coming from me. You know what I mean? This is coming from me, the person that wrote it. So I'll let you guys still, decide how it makes you feel, because music's subjective and it makes people feel, and everybody's perception is different, and you could feel and let it take you where you want it to. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I'm just letting you know where it came from me, so you can better understand it. You know what I mean? And whew, my bad. As I said, Tylenol, step it up, boy. Either that or I gotta lower my tolerance on life or something, because Jesus Christ, I'm dying right now. Damn trees. So STFU obviously stands for shut the fuck up. Also, it's still there for you. Sounds stupid, but it's still there for you too, because I'm still there for you. And that's meaning that fucking, it's meaning that narcissistic side, like that narcissistic ego trip. You know what I mean? It's still there for me when I need to reach in the bag. It's just, I need to put it away at times, because once it interferes with life, that's when shit goes south. You know what I mean? And it's not like, one thing that I didn't want people to perceive with the fucking dark voice and the light voice, the Marco and Kane shit, was I don't want them to perceive that as like devil and angel shit, because that's not what that is. That's just literally that's like, it's almost like a bipolar thing, but it's also more of just trying to find the balance of right and wrong without necessarily putting faith behind it, if that makes sense. It's just something that people battle with. And my thing with that, and that's why they have names, is because it's almost like, for me, on my end, it's also what you call it, it's an inside joke amongst our friends, but it's like basically the two personalities I had when I used to fucking party like heavy. I used to drink and do like a lot of fucking coke and just, ecstasy and Molly, all that, all the fucking party drugs. Like, we used to fucking go hard. And like during that period, I was drinking super fucking heavy during shows and during pretty much anything, little gatherings, little meets, anything that we'd go to. I was always fucked up, dude. And it was me and Steady Dope. And fucking during that time, I was just always fucked up. And eventually I was fucked up to the point that I was like functioning enough to where I would have basically split personalities like that. You know what I mean? And we would joke around with them, and we would not joke around with them, Jesus Christ, but fucking we joke around about it. And fucking the homie, I fucking don't remember who gave it to me, but somebody gave me the fucking names. They said one's Marco and one's Kane. Oh, I think it was Steady Dope. It was Steady Dope. We fucking were talking about this at the smoke shop one day. That's how we came up with the names. But we didn't have names for it back then. But one side of me always gets in trouble and always does dumb shit without thinking about the consequences, but it's through having fun. It's stupid as fuck, but was one of my issues. Also, the other side of me that a lot of people got to see the past year and a half is extremely pessimistic, extremely fucking low, extremely like I would get fucked up in the head, bro. Like I used to hate that shit, and finding the balance in between to just kind of like chill out and find my way out of that lifestyle. That shit was hard as fuck to do. And that's why a lot of the supporters that would watch me when I started going fucking David Goggins mode and running like, 10 plus miles every fucking day, not even every other day, every day, literally. Fucking go on Facebook if you don't believe me. There's a whole fucking list of pictures from my fucking mileage tracker. I'll fucking see you looking at me. I see you looking at me like you don't fucking believe me. Nah, for real though. That shit was wild, but I went on that type of trip, and it helped me really pull away from that lifestyle. And that's how I ended up, I got into like kickboxing, fucking just a lot of cardio shit, a lot of plyometric shit, a lot of just fucking crazy athletic stuff, and it pulled me away from that lifestyle. And it's part of what helped me revamp all this and actually make myself like sounds stupid, make myself presentable. Because like back then, if I were to do something like this, dude, I'd fuck all this up. Like I would probably fuck all this up and be like pissed at the camera or pissed at somebody fucking else instead of just pissed at myself for fucking it all up. You know what I mean? It's stupid, but you live and learn. You grow from that. So SCFU introduces that from the start, because through music also, obviously, not just fitness, but through music, all that pulled me away from that shit. So that's kind of why it starts like that. And it's just me basically saying shut the fuck up. Obviously, that's what it says, but it's also still there for you because of the fact that I could pull it out at any time. You know what I mean? That was the one thing I had to come to realization with, was I have to pull it out at any time. I don't have to have it all the time. I don't have to be an asshole all the time. I don't have to put up my defense mechanism of being this like, it's not even a superiority thing, but it's like a fucking, I guess it's just a need to be heard type thing, and I don't want to have that. You know what I mean? So I needed to understand that I could reach in the bag and pull that out at any time through music. And that's why at the very start, it's just literally a fucking comedic like thing. It's a comedic thing about finding balance. It's the best way I can say it. I'm trying not to run on too much, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain these things. My ghetto cup, don't make fun of me. Oh, we're at 40 minutes. Let me check real quick. We are good to go still. It's killing me. So right then, I said shut the fuck up. Wow. Gunshot is the one shot we got to take. And we come in with Monster. Monster, there's nothing really to explain about Monster. Monster is in your face. It's meant to hype you up. It's meant to wake you up. It's meant to be an introduction to exactly what I'm fucking talking about, the egotistic fucking here I am type trip. So this music, the first part, is meant to make you feel like, it is meant to pump you up. It is meant to make you be like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like you can fucking vibe to it like that. You know what I mean? You can get it to it like, fuck yeah, this is fucking hard. Like that's what it's meant for. You know what I mean? So I don't want to put a label on it as narcissistic or egotistic or anything like that as a bad thing. I want it to be a fucking I just want it to be addressed through the through the concept of the album. You know what I'm saying? Ah, fuck, sorry. That fucking coffee's strong, man. You ever had coffee that just sends you to another freaking planet, dude? It's fucking wonderful. But Monster, like I said, Monster's just meant to be catchy. It's meant to be hard. It's meant to be hitting in your face. It's meant to even possibly be like, dude, like I would bump that in the gym, bro. If I didn't know who I was and it was like a random song I came across, playlist, gym, blah blah blah, right away. You know what I mean? But that's what that's meant for right out the gate. Monster's not really a Monster's not really like a message. It's nothing like that. It's just meant to fucking vibe to. It's meant to be that shit you just throw in your rotation. I've noticed too, motherfuckers like that song. That's the third most played right now on the fucking on the album. Then we go into Chip on My Shoulder. That one for sure, like I said, Curtain Call 2, meant to have the same cadence, meant to have the same not really melody, but I guess the same type of fucking big sound. You know what I mean? When the homie Kevin Spratt, when he mixed and mastered Curtain Call, I don't remember what song I referenced to him, but I know it was an M song. I think it was Nat. I think I referenced Nat to him, and I said I want that, like, I want the way it sounds, like that overall big sound, that like that behind your fucking ears type sound, if that makes sense. So when he sent me that shit back, and it was fire, dude, I loved it. You know, people love that song. Myself, in the position I'm in and was, I couldn't afford my brother's fucking price for mixing and mastering. So I was like, all right, well, let me fucking do my thing and let me fucking sit here, let me nerd out for a while. And those who have followed me for a while, you guys already know all this is not stranger to me. Like, all this is not something that I'm unfamiliar with. So I took it upon myself, refreshed my brain a little bit, and I said, okay, I can do this my fucking self. Unbelievably, one fucking day, my brother Blessed, who lives with me now, came across a fucking mic and both of us have just kind of been like, kicking back and trying to get through life, doing our own thing. But we both want to make music, right? So when this mic came across, we are just like, oh, dude, it's fucking on. And every single track that had to be done got done. The ones that we didn't record the year prior up at his old house, everything that didn't get recorded there got recorded here, all that, and got finished. And we had to fucking get it done. You know what I mean? And so I recorded everything and said, fuck, man, I want to get this done not as soon as possible, but as promptly as possible. With it sounding as good as possible, sounding as big as possible, and using Curtain Call and Rapdemic and Time Is Now. Those were the three that I used most as reference tracks for my tracks to bring out the sound that I did for Dead Ends New Beginnings. And Curtain Call was the first fucking test. So to get Curtain Call sounding like it, or not Curtain Call, sorry, fucking Christ. Sorry. Chip on My Shoulder. There you go. Freaking Chip on My Shoulder. To get Chip on My Shoulder sounding like Curtain Call took a little work, but I got it. I fucking got it, buddy. So we had to get that done. I made it sound pretty goddamn good, in my opinion. And from the people that have talked back to me about it, they've said the same thing. They're like, damn, bro, this shit's fucking fire. And yeah, Chip on My Shoulder is just meant to be Curtain Call 2. It's meant to be that introduction to the abrasive, crazy shit that I like to spit. You know what I mean? It's meant to be aggressive. It's meant to be in your face. That beat itself, like I said, I wrote to a long time ago. And I wrote something that was kind of like, it was the same. It was like aggressive. It was in your face, but it wasn't it didn't have that energy. It was written with like low, kind of like sadder lyrics. You know what I mean? And it just really didn't work. It didn't sound that good. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it fucking. I didn't like the way it vibed. So I kept that shit in storage for a while, and then came back and re-recorded it, or not re-recorded it, rewrote it, and then obviously re-recorded it after it was rewritten. And that song itself doesn't really have that much of a. That song itself is kind of just like Monster. It's just kind of meant to be the introduction to get you pumped up. And then Fail or Prevail, that's when it goes into kind of more of a uplifting, like motivating, you could get shit done type feel. Just because I wanted to keep that energy up of being hyped. You know what I mean? Of getting hyped up from those first two songs. I wanted to keep that energy up. So Fail and Prevail is like one of those perfect, like, it's one of those perfect songs to do that with, because it almost goes back to what I said about Monster. You could play that in the gym, which is actually where I got the fucking name. I will be real with you. Motherfucker better not like come after me. Just kidding. But yeah, no, I got that name in the gym from a banner that's up there that says Fail and Prevail. And I mean, the name itself, I mean, when you think about it, it has a pretty big meaning. Fail or prevail, win or die, do or die. You know, it's that type of shit. So that's why at the very beginning, not the fuck the very beginning, the very end, I have what's his face's voice sampled in Israel Adesanya. And you know what's cool about this? Okay, so let me make sure I still have time, because this one might take up a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I'd be hurt if I look back and everything's like not in focus. I'd be so fucking sad. But then you guys would just get audio. Anyway, that's what ties fail or prevail to the concept too of the narcissistic shit, and just kind of being like the big headedness. You know what I mean? Fail or prevail kind of showcases that with that sample clip that I have in there, because I mean, let's be real, like a lot of people like Israel Adesanya is like a fan favorite, you know what I mean? A lot of people like him, but at the end of the day too, a lot of people don't like him because they consider him like cocky, and he says like stupid shit and makes himself look arrogant, and you know, showcases himself kind of in a cheesy way sometimes, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like my own little taste of saying that I'll embrace that shit, you know what I mean? And it sounds stupid, but that's kind of the big-headedness of like kind of putting your own self on a pedestal, you know what I mean? And putting that sound clip and like kind of making that old little comparison of saying that, because I don't consider myself like that out here at all, by no means, because I think there's better artists in terms of like overall composition and what they do, just because, as I said, I'm a music lover too. But when it comes to being in that zone of where I'm, you know, of not of I'm my character, because it's not like that, but when I'm making music and I have to get in that headspace, I have to think to myself that I'm the shit and there's nobody better. So to make that clear, I put in that little clip as my own little taste and my own little way of saying that I'm the GOAT. You know what I mean? But that's just my own little taste on that. Sorry, I'm low-key dying with this fucking low-key dying here, but we're gonna get through this. As I said, we've made it this far. You'd be damned if I quit on you. Be going through the rough together, boys and ladies. We get into Dead Weight. Ugh, that song is meant to be the fuck you type. It's meant to be the fuck you type vibes. It's meant to be the start of the fuck you type vibes that my arrogance can bring sometimes. You know what I mean? It's literally how I said in the second verse when I'm like, I'm fucked up and I'm feeling low. Yeah, that part. I'm trying to remember the line. It's pissing me off that I can't remember it, but whatever. Anyway, that line where I say I'm fucked up and I'm feeling low, that's the fucking concept of the song. Being in a fucked up headspace, feeling a little fucked up, and just feeling low. You know what I mean? but not actually succumbing to that, not actually being sad and not actually being like sulking in the shit, you know what I mean? But just being straight up and being like, well, fuck it. I'll be right there, but fuck you too at the same time. You know what I mean? So that song is meant to have that attitude and meant to have that like aggressiveness in it. So if you notice that song compared to the first, what is it, first four? Because we got Monster, Chip on My Shoulder, Fail I Prevail. I feel like I missed one. Did I miss one? I didn't miss one. No. STFU. Fuck. STFU, Monster, Chip on My Shoulder, Fail I Prevail. Oh yeah, 4 tracks. So the 5th track. Okay, so yeah, 5th track is Dead Weight. So yeah, the first 4 tracks, if you notice, my voice is the way it is. Dead Weight does sound different. My voice sounds different for sure. It doesn't have that like straight in your face punchiness. You know what I mean? It's more fucking laid. It almost sounds laid back in a way, and that's because it's supposed to have that like kind of like this, like, you know, you're sulking, but you're pissed in a way, and just kind of like, fuck it, drop me off the planet. Every fuck I give leaves me stranded. What the fuck is the point of standing? Like literally, it's just supposed to have that like talking aggressively to somebody that knows that they can't do shit about how you're feeling, but they're gonna try to, type thing. You know what I mean? And it also brings that mood in for the next 2 songs, which is 53 Below and then Gunsmoke. And 53 Below is 53 Below is like, it's basically my own middle finger to not the scene, because I don't feel like, I feel a certain way toward the scene out here, but it's not strong enough of a feeling to say that about everybody right now. You know what I mean? It's more of just like a fuck you to certain people where they just kind of ignored me. You know what I mean? It just kind of made me feel like you're the fucking weirdo amongst all these people, and I don't want to fuck with you. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, fuck you too. I'll embrace that weirdo shit, and that's why I say what I say in the hook, because if you fucking have watched, what the fuck is the freaking documentary? I don't remember the name of the documentary. We were just talking about this yesterday. Me and Steady were just talking about this yesterday, and I can't freaking remember what the name of the documentary was. But anyway, Marc Andre was a freaking free climber, okay? So this motherfucker climbs like mountains that look like that and shit with no no ropes, nothing like that. He just chalks up his hands like a power lifter and just climbs up the motherfucker, you know what I mean? And so in his freaking community of free climbers, mind you, people that already do that type of shit, he does it even more fucking crazy, okay? So they look at him like the weirdo in the group of fucking weirdos. So I'm like, so I looked at it, I had that beat for a while. I was feeling like the mood was in Dead Weight. I was feeling kind of pissed off. I was feeling kind of like, all right, well, fuck everybody right now. I was just in that mindset. And on that couch over there, I was laying there. I was listening to that beat, just in that mood. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know, hip hop is dope, music is dope, but a lot of fucking people think we're just fucking weirdos. A lot of people just think we're like stupid fucking people. You know what I mean? They think that like we're just wasting our time and we're just chasing nothing, chasing the fucking dragon technically, you know what I mean? And so I was like, I thought about it. I was just sitting there. I don't know what I had playing. I had something playing in the background. And I just said, fuck it, man. I'm the fucking weirdo amongst weirdos. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna embrace that shit. And we just started writing. And I came up with that hook. And that hook, at first, sorry. That hook starts with, I'm sorry, kings, but your queen's a hoe. Talking about this place, unfortunately. I just feel like people just, you know, kind of hop back and forth on whatever you want to call this, like, scene out here. And just in general too, with music and arts and all that stuff, it's just kind of dick riding, dick hopping, you know what I mean? Just hopping back and forth. So I said, sorry, kings, but your queen's a hoe. Quick to give it up to seedy folk in a city where they need a goat. Referencing back to Fail or Prevail, need a goat. Fuck. In a city where they need a goat. C3PO, how they feed the Vogue. How they feed the Vogue. Vogue. C3PO, how they feed the Vogue. Because they see a bunch of dudes out here just, embracing the, weird fucking jewelry, the weird new age fake jewelry shit. Like, the ones that can afford it and the ones that you can tell are real. Fuck yeah, cool. Enjoy your shit. The ones that rep all the fake shit, either stop acting like it's real and embrace the fakeness of it, or just stop fucking fronting like a robot and trying to mimic all the fucking people out here, or just in general, mimicking shit, you know what I mean? Because that's what it is, C-3PO is a Star Wars reference, obviously. Motherfucking gold robot. That's how motherfuckers sound out here to me sometimes, because they're just fucking covered in fucking that shit, and they're just sounding like they sound like how that fool walks to me. Maybe that's me being kind of a dick, but some people rap like how C3PO walks, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing, dog? But what the fuck happened to that C3PO? How they feed the Vogue, but no one coming close to spewing lava in the freezing cold. That speaks for itself. But no one, yeah, that speaks for itself. I ain't even gotta explain that. No one coming close to spewing lava in the freezing cold. I've been crushing lines since before I seen POs. Crushing lines is a reference back to me doing cocaine. Doing that before I seen parole officers. That line itself is just cold as fuck. Cold as fuck. So that's why I put it in there. Fuck, C-3PO, how they feed the Vogue, but no one coming close to speed with lava in the freezing cold. Yeah, being crushing lines before I see CPOs. On a peak they never, yeah, there you go, I'm sorry. On a peak they never need a rope. Climbing to the top, even if it's 53 Mark Andre, climbing to the top, even if it's 53 below. Yeah, that's how it ties together in the hook. But as I said, that song's like a fun, petty song, if that makes sense. It's a fun, petty song of me just kind of fucking, not really taking shots, but just talking pissed off, I guess. You know what I mean? Just ranting pissed off. And it goes hard as fuck. If you have a system with real good subwoofers, bro, holy shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Because oh man, it's one of those songs where if you play it on a regular system or just your phone or something, you have to kind of turn it up and it goes hard. But then you hear it on a real fucking system with subwoofers and you're like, Jesus fuck, this is fucking sick. Your whole fucking brain's rattling, bro. It's awesome. I love it. And then Gunsmoke, same thing. It's just tied in. Cold shit. One of those days where I'm just feeling low. That's why the first line is just what does it say? Fucking Christ. I can't remember what it says, dude. See, if I wasn't feeling so shitty right now, I could remember all these lyrics, man. It's hurting my feelings that I can't right now. But Gunsmoke. Checking the time real quick. Checking. Yeah, we're good, bro. I think I cleared enough memory in my phone. I don't even have to worry about it. I might sneeze. No, I lied. Gunsmoke is meant to be an underground banger. It's meant to be the fucking song for the people that know me from basically the juggalo scene and shit like that. It's meant to be that underground shit. So if you like underground hip hop, that's the song to check out, Gunsmoke. And you'd probably like 53 Below too. Those two are just fucking dope, man. Those are bass heavy, fucking rap heavy songs, you know what I mean? Punchline heavy songs. Yeah. Tylenol. I said it earlier. Your shit needs to work better because I'm going down, son. You're taking my sinuses out. You're making me feel like I'm dying. Making me feel like I just like fought fucking Mike Tyson. Making me feel like I fought Mike Tyson and he freaking broke my nose in 10 places, bro. With one punch. That's the fucked up part. He hit me one time and now my freaking nose don't work. Fuck. Then I gotta work later too, man. I'm sure some people out there listening to this and probably are gonna think the same thing. They're like, man, I gotta work later. Fuck. Because we all gotta work. We all gotta make our bread and live this thing we call life. And, you know, sometimes you gotta take a stop on the road, check your phone, and sometimes you get weird shit on there, you know? Sometimes you get people, like, trying to sell you shit. Sometimes you get homies prank calling you or leaving prank messages. I wish some of y'all would, because that would lighten my day, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get, like, a missed message from, like, your future self telling you not to fuck with that person that you were gonna fuck with, you know what I mean? And then other times you fucking stop by the fucking, oh, hey, my nose, my left side is clear. You know what we should do? And then the other times you stop by the bathroom, you check your phone while you're checking your messages, like I said, and then you open it up and you hear some, you know, you hear some fake ass motherfucker talking on the other end about how they love you and shit, but you know deep down they don't. It's gonna happen. Watch out, everybody. You're gonna get viral COVID somehow. Just kidding. Now they're gonna ban me because I said that. As I said, you get somebody on the fake end. Thank you. I heard you say God bless you. But I remember, man. I remember you had it happen before. You warned me about it, brother. You warned me about it, sister. You told me it was gonna happen. And I didn't believe you. But lo and behold, we took a pit stop. And that's what happened. You get lied to by somebody that gets up in your feelings. And you know, I'm a real petty motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I can control it, other times I can't. So, pit stop is a real message. And From the Heart is a real song that I wrote creatively in a way to where it's a big like, it's not a fuck you necessarily. It's not a fuck you to my ex necessarily, but it's definitely a relationship song. I'll say that, okay? And the pit stop skit is meant to bring that out of From the Heart, because From the Heart, out of context, when I first made it, didn't really like. I liked it. You know what I mean? I liked it, but it didn't fit like a fucking category, dude. It didn't fit a fucking category to where I was like, okay, this is nice. This is where I want to be. This is sick. This is a good song. Like, it didn't feel that way yet. You know what I mean? So I was like, fuck. I need to find a way to fucking make that work. And lo and behold, the universe happened to show me a way to make it work. And guess what? The way they showed me to make it work was they let me get my heart fucked with a little bit. My fault, too, at the same time, for actually having feelings. But that's okay. We live and learn, you know what I mean? We move on. And I know a lot of fucking people out there that would love to make a little skit like that when something like that happens. So I did that for y'all. You know what I mean? I already had a couple of people that straight told me that. They're like, man, I've always wanted to do that. And I was like, well, good. I fucking did that for y'all because I had it happen to me and I wasn't going to do that. But I was listening to it one day and I was just like, it fits so perfect. It would make so much sense. it would make the transition between narcissistic, ego tripping, aggressive. It would make that transition so much more smooth, because then you get this like complete contrast of me just opening up like you've never heard me actually open up before on rap. You know what I mean? Because everybody that has followed me for years has heard the aggressive shit. That's what they were kind of waiting for. Also, a big reason why the first half is like that, because that's what a lot of people were waiting for. They didn't like the softer stuff that I was fucking with during that year and a half when I was experimenting with music to find that balance again. You know what I mean? So that transition between Gunsmoke to From the Heart with Pit Stop was perfect. And fate blessed me by getting a little bit fucked over, but it's pretty cool. Blessings come in disguise sometimes. And that's part of the final... It's crazy. That's part of the final piece to the puzzle when I was making this album. I'm gonna get something, because if we're gonna mimic this, like, well, I'm not gonna say mimic, if we're gonna copy the style of making this like a conversation and just like a chill thing, I'm gonna make it a little entertaining, because I have something that'll make it entertaining. But I'm not gonna react all crazy like they do, because I can, well, who knows? Actually, you know what, I'm not gonna say anything because my nose is already fucked up. Let's see what happens. Damn, dog, you know what's crazy? I just realized that I don't know where I've been ashing this. On myself? Yeah. Kids, don't be slacking like me. Let me grab what I was gonna grab, and I'll check the time at the same time. We already know, more than likely. I know my boys know, the ones that fucking live with me and or visit sometimes. Bam! And you know the only difference, we're gonna show it. See, they don't always show it on Joe Rogan. Oh my gosh. This is terrible. 1 second. Whoa, hold on. Yeah, fuck yeah. Cool, we're still good. We're still rolling. Like I said, raw and uncut, man. I don't want to make this one of them things. I don't want to make this one of them weird, oh, let's cut it. We'll pause back in. If we need to do like a bathroom break, that's different. But right now, we're good. So From the Heart. Whew. As I said, From the Heart. That song was fun to make. It's definitely a relationship song, like I said. I was in denial of it myself for a while. I was like, nah, bro. It's like more of a hip-hop, like, hip-hop's my like, treating hip-hop like my lady type shit. Nah, fuck no, bro. It's not like that, bro. It's a relationship song. It was written when it was fresh, and when we were fresh split, when I was just kind of like, man, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? It's literally kind of like I said, it's not necessarily a fuck you, but it's a fuck you. You know what I mean? I guess it's like a I love you, but fuck you. It's an I love you, but fuck you. That's literally what it is, dude. And I know a lot of people like making those type of things, so I was like, fuck it, dude. I'll make one for me, because that's what's real. A lot of people can relate to it, you know? So that's why I wrote that. And from what I've seen, that's another top song right now. So I don't know if the skit helps it. I think it helps it from the way the listeners seem to be listening to it. Seems like they like it too, so that is going good so far. And that's how it ties it in. It's a good transition. As I said, the transition works fucking perfect. And then from there we go into freaking... What fucking song is after that? It's a good song. I know that. Going crazy. Yeah, going crazy. Because if you notice in the pit stop skit, we sneak it in the background. Because the pit stop skit is meant to be me walking into the house, throwing down. I think I throw down my keys in the skit. And then you fucking hear it go down. And when I say I'm going to check my messages, I take the bong hit, do the thing. You hear the music in the background. The music is meant to be playing from the fucking speaker we have over here. Because normally this is up here. I wanted to clear it for the fucking screen. But it's meant to be playing from that. So that's why we snuck in the little sample. And you could hear going crazy. You could hear the fucking song a little bit in the background. But you can't really hear the lyrics, you know what I mean? So then it makes you kind of get that feel while you're hearing the skit of being like, what song is that? Like, I hear something in the background that's playing that sounds like them too. And so fucking, it's like a little teaser, you know what I mean? Then you get through from the heart, and then Going Crazy starts playing, and fucking, that song itself is sick. Like, when we recorded it that night, I remember telling my brother, fucking bless, I was like, bro, this is fucking fire. Like, this is gonna be sick. Like, this is gonna be a fucking sick song. My brother's fucking dope. I love my brother. But one thing about him is he don't get excited. You can't tell when he's excited. He's one of them people that he don't react. You know what I mean? He could be the most excited ever. Like, he could literally be excited as fuck meeting his idol, but he won't show it. It is fucking wild. So, like, I couldn't tell if he was excited or not with Going Crazy. And, like, yeah, dude, right now, well, when we first dropped it a year ago, the way it was, like, rising and the way numbers are going, it was like, okay, cool. I told you in a sense. You know what I mean? But now when we re-released it with the fucking album, I think it works so much better, and I think that's why it's one of the it's not one of the number one songs. It's the number one song right now on my Spotify. Everyone's listening to that right now, which is dope, because that song itself is fucking sick. And that song's literally just meant to kind of pick you up and be raw and it's not meant to really be like any of those moods of the album. That's one of the only songs in the album that it was just kind of like a song, you know what I mean? Like, the hook itself is real catchy, you know what I mean? The hook itself is real catchy to where you can vibe to it. But the words that we're using in there, although they come from a real place, I don't know, I'm not going to speak for Blessed, but for me, I was just having fun with that song. I was just writing some shit to just have fun. You know what I mean? Because for me, I rarely write punchlines. I rarely write, like, I shouldn't say I rarely write punchlines. I do write punchlines. I rarely write, like, almost comedic stuff. You know what I mean? And I think one of the lines that makes me laugh the most in that when I hear it is, who am I? What did I say? I said, I'm like a bandit hideout. I've been away from the sun so long I might be white now. Fuck. Someone tell these voices in my head to pipe down. I want to rap, but every rapper I see, I want to stab their eyes out. Like, that shit makes me laugh when I hear it. It makes me laugh because it's just like, it's meant to be comedic on my end. I'm sure other people hear that and like, bars, that's hard. For me, it's funny. Like, for me, that shit was fun to write. It was like, the best thing I can compare it to is literally fucking, what's his face? Fucking Eminem. The way he does the Slim Shady shit. That is for me like the Slim Shady shit. It's just me fucking around, just saying random bullshit that sounds good, you know what I mean? Like, the one that makes me laugh too is I said, I'll never skip a beat like DeMar Hamlin. Like, that fool, I don't know what team that guy's on. I don't know anything. I just see the highlight, and this dude, he got fucking, like, I think he made a block or he got tackled, something like that, and he got hit in the chest in the right spot, and it made his heart skip a beat, because it was like one of those like weird fucking things, like where it's one of those anomalies that happens, like, it's like the millionth chance of something happening, some crazy fucking ratio. Anyway, it's one of those rare things that never happens, right? And it happened. So I was like, that's a fucking random like thing. And I remember just thinking to myself when I was writing that, I was like, hey, that's a fucking perfect word that fits with the fucking bar before. Because I can't remember the bar before. What did I say? I'm incarcerated to these bars slamming. I was like, bars slamming. That's what I saw. I had to write it backwards because it was like, how is it gonna work? So that's what I said. I'll never skip a beat like Damar Hamlin. I'm incarcerated to the sound of these bars slamming. And I had to just find something that rhymed with bars slamming, and his name just so happened to fucking rhyme with it. So I was like, hey, that's a bar. And then I just wrote it. And then it made me laugh. And then it made me go crazy when I heard it because I was like, it fits the beat perfect. If you're wondering why I'm hiding this, it's because I don't want to do it. But I know it'll be entertaining for y'all. Yeah. I know it'll be entertaining for y'all, and I know that it might actually clear my sinuses. So I guess I'll do it. What we got here today. We got a rhino in the case. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know where the camera light is. Maybe right there. That probably will look about right. Rhino. It's a nuclear bomb. Atomic. It says smelling salts. Read, atomic rhino is ready. Do not add water, no need to shake. I usually do this when I usually do that when I power lift. I'm not really a power lifter. I mean, I try to lift heavy, but compared to some of the actual power lifters at my gym, I ain't shit, bro. And then I talk to people in normal gyms, and they're just like, what do you mean, bro? You're fucking crazy. You're a fucking beast. And I'm like, no, I ain't shit. I mean, it might clear my sinuses, but I want to embarrass myself for you guys, and I don't know if I'm ready to do that or not. I mean, I guess I could. Because ironically, the next song is called Don't Wait. And I bet a few of you are like, don't wait, bro. Just fucking do it. Just do it. I'm gonna do a theoretical cheers to Joe Rogan because he's probably doing it somewhere right now with fucking one of the people on his podcast. If you come on this podcast and I happen to whip these out, you don't have to do them. It's just a weird thing that happens when you happen to get them. When you happen to buy these, you just kind of want people to do them. I don't know why. It just kind of happens. So if you happen to come on the podcast and we tell you to do this, or I tell you to do this, like, it just is what it is. You don't have to do them, but you should. Fuck y'all. It'll make me fucking piss myself. These are pretty strong too, I won't lie to you. Oh, my bad, bro. Oh. See, that side's fucked. Yeah, bro, that side is fucked. Oh, my left side is somewhere else though. Holy shit. Oh, I gotta even out. Hold on. Okay, we're done. Holy shit. Woo! Holy fuck. That's why I said you don't have to do it, but you should. Oh my goodness. You ever just like wanted to cry? You ever just like sparred somebody, agreed to it, thought you were the shit, and then just totally got your ass kicked? That's what that just did. I thought I was the shit because this side is clogged. The right side of my nose is clogged, and I thought I was fine. Oh, I was not fine. That one fucking got me. That got me. The next song, Don't Wait, is meant to be me opening up. The next song, Don't Wait, is meant to be me being as real as I could. I don't know, bring that back, bud. It's meant for me to be as real as I could while just being like open and raw, you know what I mean? Like try not to hold anything back and just try to actually rap and just be as real to hip hop as I could, because that beat was like, I don't know, I can't explain it. That beat was like almost like an R&B type beat in my opinion, and for me personally, I just heard it like, I heard it differently. I heard that beat and I was like, man, I could hit some real like J. Cole-ish shit here if I try. And so I was really trying to rap almost like I was on a boom bap beat, but to fit that vibe in like a real smooth way. And I think that was the perfect way to actually that made my ears pop. That was a perfect that was a perfect way for me to actually switch it up with the vibe as well, because from going crazy into the intro of Don't Wait, it's like almost like it almost sounds like Suicide Boys-ish, you know what I mean? It's like real low. It's like, don't wait, go man, what low wave. It goes real low for a second. It has this like vibe and this real like low bass vibe, and it's sick. But I didn't want it to change up into that. You know what I mean? I wanted to still have a real like classic hip hop vibe, because From the Heart was boom bap. You know what I mean? It was some real boom bap-ish shit, but it was funky. And watch before I go too far. From the Heart, I actually pictured like, just because of how funky it was in the music video when we do it, I almost want to like, I don't want to portray being passed around, but I want to fucking portray like maybe like a dance, or like maybe have like a fucking dance scene where it's just like different women and like just like vibing to the beat, but me rapping at the same time. Like there's a vision I have with that song that I'm trying to do as well, but it has to do with that beat. It's almost like a dance beat, you know what I mean? And with Don't Wait, and then with Going Crazy, and then Don't Wait, it like upraises the tempo, you know what I mean? So when it upraises the tempo with Going Crazy, I wanted it to mellow out a little bit, and when it drops down into the outro of Going Crazy, the balance of the intro to Don't Wait kind of mellows it out and brings back that hype with the fucking way that it switches up and turns into like this classic fucking almost, I don't even know how to say, almost like 2011-ish vibe almost, you know what I mean? Like that beat is just different and sounds really unique, and I had to find a way to write to it but not sound generic, you know what I mean? So I really opened up on that song a lot. If you actually listen to the lyrics and listen to it, like take a minute to really listen to it, you know what I mean? And you'll hear a lot of shit in there where I'm just opening up about life shit and just trying to get through life and just trying to keep this vision that I have going, and just trying to actually incorporate everything and just try to make everything real, you know what I mean? Try to make everything as relatable and as real as possible that I can to the people that fuck with it, you know what I mean? Because that is what's important to me at the end of the day. And yeah, Don't Wait is just, it's a true hip-hop song. That is one of the songs that expresses me the most, and I don't know who follows me online right now that is watching this. Obviously I can't see you guys, but fucking that song right there is one of the songs where you could hear a lot of the shit I went through in the last year and a half that made me grow and made me actually a better person and a more well-rounded person and a more well-rounded artist as well. Just because you have to go through those lows, you know what I mean? You have to go through those lows to get back to the highs that you once were, because I mean, we've all gotten to a peak and we've all fallen before. Like it happens to the best of us, you know what I mean? So if you're going through it, don't fucking give up. So Don't Wait is a real like self-expression song. Then on my mind's a timeless song. That's one of the songs where you just vibe to it. You can vibe to it and just listen to the realness of it. It talks about the world, the state of the world, the state of being a human in the world that we're in. You know what I mean? It's a song where I remember when I first released it as the little breadcrumb, where I was like, this is kind of one of those timeless songs that you can play at any point, any period of time, and it works. That was the song where I just fucking, like I said, I just knew it would be that way for a while. And it was, when I wrote it, it was coming from my perspective of things, but I was trying to put it into like third person view. You know what I mean? Like video game shit. Like you're seeing yourself above and talking about yourself from above, but not talking down on yourself. You know what I mean? And that song is, it's one of those songs where if you're in the mood and you're just kind of like, what's the word? There's a fucking word. Intrigued by the way the world works, I guess. You can listen to that and it'll give you your own perspective of your own inner being of what you should not think, I guess, but what you should perceive. I don't know. I don't know how to explain the feeling that I was trying to convey for other people in that. So I'll just let that be one of those ones where it's your own perception to take it upon yourself of how you feel about that song. You know what I mean? I know for me, it's one of the songs where it's just a timeless self-expression of the way the world is and the way that you feel on the inside as a human being in the world of fucking chaos, and just trying to find the balance within it all. And that's why the next skit is Marco and Kane, and that one's really self-explanatory in the skit. It's really just literally talking about balancing the shit out. You know what I mean? It's balancing the shit out. And when I say let it go, it is referencing Let It Go, the next song, but it's also just talking about letting it go, letting go of all the fucking like pessimistic, like revenge-ish, vengeance type feelings that I used to hold on to a lot of, especially from like the whole fucking relationship slash like career slash just a lot of like life shit. You know what I mean? Just holding on to a lot of stuff that I didn't have to hold on to. It's literally just kind of like reflecting that real quick in a comedic way, and then just saying you just gotta let it go. And then that's why the next song comes on and it's called Let It Go. Give me 1 second. One second. Sweet. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. As long as I don't take the freaking light out on myself. I don't know how that looks in the camera, but we're gonna hope it looks good. I'm just gonna roll with it. We're just gonna roll with it. We're this far in. If you've watched or listened this far in, you're a fucking amazing person, and you have my utmost respect, because I know I can be a handful and just talk a random amount of noise sometimes. Like, I appreciate those who fuck with me. So if you made it this far into the fucking first episode again, you're fucking awesome, bro. You're awesome. Because I do see y'all. I mean, fuck. I have moments where I bitch about not being seen, but I fucking see y'all that do see me. Don't ever think I'm talking about you if that's the case. It's just, it's hard. This shit is hard to do. A lot of people don't realize that. But that's what brings me up to Let It Go. Let It Go is a dope song. I fucking like Let It Go a lot. It's hard for me to listen to as an artist, because that song for real is the hardest song I've ever had to write, because that was me being, I know I said don't wait, I was being as open as I could. That was like with self-expression. That was about creativity. That was about being true to hip-hop, being myself, being real, being uplifting, motivating, bringing y'all up, still keeping the lingo, still keeping the slang, still keeping the fucking rhythm, still vibing, you know what I mean? All that shit. Let It Go is me opening the fuck up and saying what shit has been going down, and saying how I've been feeling, and saying how I've been perceiving life at that moment in time. And it's a hard song for me to listen to because of how real the lyrics are and how real it comes, how real the emotion is in it and where it comes from. But that song right there is as an artist, probably my best fucking song, and that's why a lot of people right now are vibing to it as well. I noticed it's the top, it's the third, I think. No, it's the second. It goes Going Crazy, Let It Go, and then From the Heart. Those are the top three played songs right now. And Let It Go, that's probably why it's the most, is because it's real as fuck. That song is real as fuck. I put a clip up, or not a clip, a video of me performing Dead Weight, Fail I Prevail, and Let It Go recently on YouTube, and it got a lot of views, man. But yeah, hearing is different. It's a really good recorded song, and we did a very good job on it. We recorded it, like a year ago. Watch, give me 1 second. I know I said we'd cut for a bathroom break, but we're this far in. I'm just gonna make it quick. Let's keep this rolling. Oh fuck! It didn't get cut. I knew it would cut. I was like, fuck. Okay, watch. Pause that now. Alright, so we're back, and it took longer than I thought, but if you're listening on Spotify, you're gonna keep hearing this, obviously. We're on Let It Go. We're on that song. If you're watching on YouTube, unfortunately, this is if it's posted. I don't know if it's gonna be posted or not, but if you're watching on YouTube, well then you're probably gonna see a black screen, or you're gonna see the Badger's Den podcast image come up, because we went down, son. Technical difficulties got us, dog. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, should I just, crop the pause together once I fix it? Should I wait? Da 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 da. I don't really have time today, unfortunately. But I also don't want to reshoot this whole thing for this episode. That just sounds like, it doesn't sound like, there's no point in redoing it when we're already this far. We'll just complete it, you know what I mean? Because we're not that far from being done. So my apologies for the technical difficulties, but I'm sure you can still hear me loud and clear, and that's all that matters. Besides, all the interesting shit has already been kind of done anyway. I don't plan on destroying myself with smelling salts. I don't plan on doing really anything foolish right now. I'm just trying to finish up the podcast. So yeah, we're on Let It Go, and Let It Go is a difficult song, man. It's a real song from emotion. It's just a real song from like sadness, and the last line where it's just like, and I just want to let it go on this road, and I just want to let it go. It's just like, it's what it says. It's very self-explanatory, you know what I mean? It's literally just wanting to let go of that emotion and just kind of be this, I don't want to say new me, because that sounds corny as fuck, and I don't like that shit. But in a sense, that's what it is, It's a new me. And the next two songs, Dirt and Nothing But a Dream, those two songs resemble the musical composition where I kind of want to be right now. And that's just on this mellow vibe, with the ability to just like do what I want, you know what I mean? And Dirt itself, although it's a sad song, and it's a song where the feeling is meant to be conveyed that way, but when I wrote it, I was in a sad mind state, but I wasn't like sulking in it, if that makes sense. It was just one of those moments where, like, when you're just driving and then that shit just kind of hits you, and then you just think hard on it and it just kind of gets to you. It was one of those moments. So I wrote that when I was in that type of mindset, but I wasn't necessarily just sulking in the shit. And yeah, when I wrote it, I was very open. I was very real about how I felt about things. Just very, very different. You know what I mean? I never wrote that way before. And even now when I listen to that song, it doesn't sound like me. It sounds like somebody else. And it's kind of crazy to hear. You know what I mean? It's a trip. It's fucking cool. But on Nothing But a Dream, that's the one that ties it all together in the end. And the two, going back all the way to the beginning of the episode where I was talking about Kane and Marco, it goes back to having those two two personalities basically, and two emotions, and two physical manifestations under control. Nothing But a Dream is where the I don't want to say character because it's really not a character that I am. I don't really portray a character, you know what I mean? I don't really have like a persona or anything like that. But me as an artist, it's where X is finally at balance and at peace with music composition and musical placement, and basically where I'm supposed to be, not only on the path in life, but just on the path in any of this, basically any of this music stuff, whatever you want to call it. Like, that's my way of basically saying that everything feels right. And although everything is still not where it should be and not where I want it to be, everything feels right. And that's why at the very end, the very last lines, the very last bars are meant to kind of like fantasize about where I should be and where I want to be, but I wake and see it's nothing but a dream. It's not saying it in a bad way. It's more of just a, okay, this is a peaceful way. And that's why at the end, it's not like a sad yeah or a yeah. Like, the tone in my voice in that song is not sad if you actually listen to it and vibe with it. The tone of it is actually very mellow and laid back, and almost like how I'm talking right now, just very straightforward, and not having to hide behind these like labeled persona, labeled fucking I just said not persona, but basically not hiding behind the Kane and Marco figures, and finally just being myself and being open. That's what Nothing But a Dream ties together the whole album with. And Dead Ends New Beginnings is the title of it is very self-explanatory in it. And I wanted it to correlate with the track list. So that's why the beginning, obviously, egotistic. It's very, like I said, all those like big headed thoughts come from an arrogant place for sure, 100%. But that's where my dead ends are. That's where nothing really progresses, you know? When I feed into that shit, nothing progresses. And I realize that and I see it. But I also know that it's one of the things in the bag that I can access at any moment that can make some fire ass music and that can make people charged up with some real emotion and real energy. And I'm happy to do that still, you know what I mean? And so even though I call it Dead Ends, it's not like that's the end of me doing that, you know. You're still going to have big headed songs and you're still going to have that vibe from time to time, because that is what hip hop is built off of as well. So it's not like it's going away forever. But that's why the first part of the album is like that. And then New Beginnings, obviously, that's New Beginnings in any sense. Also, like with seasons change and shit like that, you know, things fall. You usually go through a change of phase and you hit low points and all that good stuff. So New Beginnings is very much personified with all the songs that are in the second half of the album. And that was the hardest part to do, because I didn't want to fucking have this, like, I didn't want to have this fucking compilation of music that just sounded like everything was just placed in random order. You know what I mean? That was the biggest thing I did not want to happen. And I don't think it happened at all in this at all. It came out very fucking cohesive and everything fits extremely well together. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy with that. And Nothing But a Dream ties it all together. Dead Ends, New Beginnings, the title itself, like I said, I just explained that. The artwork was what I meant to get into. The artwork itself, it's not meant to like symbolize anything necessarily. That was one thing I wanted to clear that up, you know what I mean? It was a cool fucking concept that I had, because the city itself, to make any type of real like progress hip hop wise, you kind of have to play a chess game. And so I'm not calling myself a king necessarily with that album cover, but on the other hand, when it comes to emceeing, I'll just be big headed on this occasion in the state when it comes to really actually like spitting that shit and being real to the art and craft and staying true to it. There's not a lot out here that can do that shit with us, man. And so I took pride in putting that and labeling that. So I know I said it's not supposed to symbolize anything, but I guess in a sense it still does. But the biggest thing I was going for with that album cover, believe it or not, was I was trying to make the header look sick. So when you fucking when you put your phone away and you just have it playing in the background and you look on your Spotify or you look on Apple Music and it's playing at the top and you can see a little peek of the album cover. I wanted to fill that out. I wanted to fill out that little bar and make it look sick and make it still stand out. So I found I took the concept that I had of hip hop being, a chess game in general, but also with our city. And I was like, man, if I could line the skyline up right and I could line the piece up right and I could line it falling off right, everything will still fit and look proper within the header, and it'll still look sick as an album cover as well because it'll look like somebody like I don't know, it'll look like somebody fucking shot a bullet hole through something or some weird shit. I don't know. It was just meant to look cool. You know what I mean? It really was. That one album cover, I will tell you, is not. It's tied into the album itself in a sense, but it's not really like. It's not really too conceptual, or it's not really too conceptual on the album itself. It's more of just a fucking cool piece that ties together my placement of where I feel like I'm at with hip hop in the city, and that is that I'm playing a chess game to find my way back to where I should be, and that's feeling like a king. You know what I mean? Not necessarily that I am one, but at least having the feeling to being able to stand on my shit and just be because like don't get me wrong, I'm proud of my shit. I'm always gonna stand on my business and be proud, but at the same time I have goals and I want to be at a different place still. So we're always working toward that, and that's why I use hip hop and I use music a lot to convey that feeling, not just to myself but for others to get that feeling out of it as well, because a lot of people need mood lifters and mood changers, you know what I mean? And then a lot of people need music that they can relate to, which is why with New Beginnings, that's kind of the direction I'm leaning towards. Music more is just being more open, more relatable, being able to tell people, or being able to connect to people without ever meeting them, if that makes sense. Because along the path, I found that I can do that with music, and it sounds like a no-brainer when you say it nowadays, but when you're deep in your head and deep in your thoughts, you don't think about shit like that. You just kind of use it to get through. You use music as an outlet, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing to have, but at the end of the day too, you gotta reconnect with people every now and then, and this is gonna be my way of doing it. And yeah, man, I don't know much more to say about that album right now, other than the connection. Oh, well, no, we kind of covered that too. I guess the connection. The only thing that I didn't really cover was the. No, I did cover that too, because that's part of what goes into New Beginnings. That took about as long as I thought it would. We had one camera die. We had one camera die. My only camera die, I should say. Not one camera, like I got multiple cameras. I got one camera. I'm trying to make it sound all fancy and shit, like we're sitting here all different angles and shit. It's one camera pointed here. And like I said, about an hour and 30 minutes in, y'all lost sight of me. Y'all got the fucking y'all got the Badgers Den logo up in your face. And it's funny because I was watching the clip a second ago because I was transferring the file so that we could continue filming. I was transferring the file, and here it is right now, still stuck loading as we speak. It's still fucking transferring. If time wasn't a factor, I'd wait and we'd continue filming this way, but for the next episode, I'll make sure that we're planned with a bigger memory card, I guess. It's fucking crazy how much it takes up. But anyway, I noticed in the film clip, there's a little black film strip going up and down on my TV. I hope none of y'all think that I'm fucking ghetto like that, okay? It's the fucking lighting, I promise you. The lighting is making it seem that way. I got a high quality TV and it works very well, okay? So it's fucking... It don't look like what it looks like on the camera, I promise you. Although, I will say, the camera makes it almost look like it's making a, effect or something. But no, it's just the fucking lighting. It's just fucking with the angle. So yeah, that was the first episode of the Badger's Den. We are officially, I don't want to say officially up and running, all crazy official sounding, business sounding because it's not like that, but we're back up and running. We're going to be doing episodes. I'm going to be bringing on guests. I'm not sure who the guest is going to be on the next episode, but I plan on bringing a guest on the next episode. If you guys listen to the whole thing, man, appreciate the living fuck out of y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying the album. I've been hearing nothing but positive feedback on it. Keep sharing it. Keep passing it around. Make that album a hoe, bro. That shit's dope. That's all I'm going to say. And it took a lot of work to make. It was a fucking journey to make. And I got another project in store already for you guys. Just hang on to your hats because the next one's even crazier. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, man, till the next episode. And once again, I apologize for the technical difficulties on the last 17-ish minutes. Y'all lost sight of me. Y'all have just been seeing nothing, but it's okay. Next one, we'll have everything ready. Peace, y'all.